Afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Ndeye Coumba. I'm a teacher of English in Karang, Senegal. I'm here to present or to co-present with my sister Khoudia, who is also a Senegalese teacher. Thank you, Leah, for giving me the floor, and I'm really happy to be here in order to have some say about this interesting topic, which is engaging disengaged students. So before going further, I want to give the floor to Mrs. Khoudia in order to introduce herself. Thank you so much. Khoudia, you have the floor.
Thank you, Sister Ndeye Coumba. Thank you, Leah, for giving us this opportunity to take part in this wonderful meeting of giving and taking, which is the West Africa TESOL Conference. Even if it is virtual, it is very important for all of us. So, the title of our presentation is Engaging the Disengaged Student. So, I'm going to give the floor again to my sister, Ndeye Coumba, for the introduction. Go on, sister.
Thank you, sister. So first of all, I would like you to have a look at this slide session plan. So we have introduction and all the other lines that follow. As introduction, we can say that having disengaged student in one's classes is very difficult to manage, and it is boring too. So studying this topic, we have decided to try to identify the topic, to identify the disengaged students, and then to talk about the causes of disengagement, why students are now disengaged. And then finally, we are going to give some tips in order to get them engaged again. So this is the action, the session plan. So this is what we are going to do. And then finally, we will have the conclusion. Thank you so much, Sister Khoudia.
Great. So now, before doing anything, let's have a little fun. I'm going to ask you some question, and I want you to tell me who I am, meaning it is a game. So I want you to tell me who I am. First of all, I just say that I am a word. And it can be a noun, a proper noun, and a common noun. So guess who I am? Great, someone has spoke about the answer. It is Leah, wonderful, good answer. Okay, now let's keep on dealing with our activity. This was just a way to make a little bit fun. Thank you. Sister, come on.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So this is the introduction. You just have a look at it, and then we will move to the next slide. Okay, this is identification of disengaged students. Yes. These are two pictures. So now try to look at the pictures and then tell us, how would you identify disengaged students? How would you identify disengaged students? That's wonderful. And what else? Yes, great idea. Yes. So look at the second picture. What is the boy doing? What is the boy doing? Yes, that's it. He is playing. Very good. And what about the others? They are all girls. What are they doing? Are they working? No. What are they doing? Good. Okay. Okay. So that's it. So this, some signs of motivation or disengagement. What do we have first? As you said right now, a while ago, this is lack of concentration. When students lack concentration, they won't focus. They will be playing, they will be doing other things during the lesson, or they will use objects like rulers, pens, and play with it, or they will be talking behind with their classmates. Thank you so much for your answers. Thank you. Yes, this is the causes of disengagement, of student disengagement. So I'm going to give the floor to Sister Khoudia. She will tell you something about it. Yes, sister?
So, thank you, Sister Ndeye Coumba again. So here we go for the causes of disengaged student, meaning why our student lack concentration, lack commitment, lack engagement during our lessons, during the courses. And first of the causes is lack of interest. Why lack of interest? Because sometimes when you come in class and that you have an agenda, you have a program to respect. If you talk about something else which is so different from what you are supposed to do, this may cause this situation. Examples: a teacher who comes in class and who discuss about his life, telling stories about his life, telling stories about how he was or she was at university, what kind of degrees he has in his studying, so on and so forth. We can consider this as a way to demotivate your student, because students are not interested in this kind of information. They are interested in how you can teach them, what you can teach them, which can be useful in their real life. And another cause also could be lack of understanding. I'm going to give the floor to my sister who is going to explain this part. Sister Ndeye Coumba, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much for the floor. So when we talk about lack of understanding here, we all know that our students are from the lower level to the upper level, from CZM to terminal, or from the first form to the upper stage. So here, when students when the students do not understand what you teach, you have to level it down. For example, when the English is so complicated, try to level it down. So you have to be at the same level with the student. For example, those who are beginners, or you have to put some questions or some other things in another way, or you have to simplify, be simple in order to help them understand what you are teaching. Understanding is the root or the base of everything. If students that do not understand, what are they going to say? How are they going to handle their lesson? Or how are they going to learn? So you have to help them understand the lesson, everything you do in class. For example, if you are teaching grammar lesson, try to help them understand. Explain, and explain it again until when they understand. This is the key of learning. Thank you so much, Khoudia. The next, please.
Okay, so another cause could be the context. So what do we mean by the context is, for example, uh, it depends on the area in which you were teaching. Example, if you have some students, they are living with they have their culture, they have their real life, and what we have to teach them should cope with what they are living. I just give an example, a very practical example. All my students are ladies. I come in the classroom and I talk about football. Maybe you will tell me that it is about general knowledge, of course, but talking about football using ladies only may be sometimes very boring. And in this case, your student may not pay too much attention on what you were saying. We have to contextualize what we teach. We have to put what we teach in a real life context, creating this link between the content and the context. What do we teach to our students should relate it to their real life, so that after the class, they can use it in their real life and practice the English language correctly. I think this is what we mean by context. Thank you, sister.
So when we come to the content, with our national syllabus, we have a different thing to teach. Here, when we talk about the content, we are talking about grammar, vocabulary, national function, etc., etc. So we have to teach them and to relate all this to what my sister had said about it. real life. Try to contextualize first and then teach so that they will understand. Everything here is related. When we talk about the content, you talk about the context, and after that there is understanding. But if there is not a good context and the content also does not match, so there will not be any understanding. So this is what we talk about, what why we talk about we have to focus on the context, because when the content is not good enough, the student will be lost, they will be disengaged, so they will be demotivated. So this is why we should uh, put the focus, or we put lay emphasis on the content before doing anything else. And also the materials. When we talk about the materials, it is the same thing. Sometimes the materials may be boring, may be disinterested, and student, you know what they will be doing, they will lose everything and they will be disengaged. Materials are like videotapes, they are like books, they are like songs, etc. So when we have to choose, we have to choose materials that match student interests, but don't choose materials that make them lost, from which they do not learn anything. Okay, so these are the things that may cause student disengagement, and if we focus on them, if we work on them, so maybe we will prevent them. So sister, I will let you tackle the two last
Okay.
points.
Okay, thank you again, sister. The two last points that we wanted to add are fear of participating and boredom, which we can consider that they are the same. Why fear of participating? If the student are afraid to take the floor, if the student think that or consider that when they take the floor, the teacher will laugh at them or their other friends will laugh at them, they may be afraid to take the floor. They may be demotivated. They can even be lazy to participate in the lesson. And why boredom? Because if the content, we get back to the content, we get back also to the context, the materials. If they are not interesting, if they are not relating to real life, this can be very boring for the student, even the teacher, because if the classroom is not lively, if there is no interaction within students, this create a situation of boredom, and in this case, student will learn nothing from their teacher, from the lesson, from the class. So fear of participating is one cause of student disengagement. Boredom also is another cause, because students, when they fear to take part in the lesson, they can disengage from the lesson, and this is not good for the teacher, for the lesson, and for the whole thing that happens in the classroom. These so are the some causes that we have decided to share with you, and I'm sure you have more than this. So if you have more than this, you can use the chat box to give your comment, or take the floor and mute yourself quickly and give your comment. Thank you, dear sister. So the next slide or reactions from the participant. Okay, thank you for the reactions. Now, what are the tips to get the student re-engaged? How could we make our student get back into the class, into the course, to participate fully in the lessons? I'm going to give the floor first to my sister, who is going to add something. Thank you.
So thank you so much, sister Khoudia. I have just one question to ask. It is for the participants. How do you handle disengaged students? What are the tips to get them back to the lesson, etc.?
Yes.
We have this list that we can try to explain, and it is just tips that we propose to re-engage disengaged students. The first one is flexibility. Flexibility. How are we going to deal with students? So we propose flexibility. Flexibility is being able to change, being able to change when there is some obstacle. For example, when you are handling your lesson, at a certain point, there is a student who does not understand. So you have to come back to try to change, to try to change the words in order to help him or to help her. Flexibility is one important thing that the teacher should try to do when he is in or when he is in front of students who do not understand. This is flexibility, very important for a teacher. Okay, thank you, sister. You have the floor for change, etc.
Okay. Thank you again, sister. Wonderful, as usual. Now, maybe some other tips that we have proposed. We have the context, meaning going beyond the wall. What do you mean by this? I think we already talked about it because as you can understand it, the causes are challenges, but we as teachers, we have to overcome such challenges. And one among the way we can use is to go beyond the wall, meaning we don't need to teach only in the classroom. Sometimes we can even do class outside the classroom. The classroom, it is not compulsory to have always class in the classroom. We can do the course outside the classroom, even under a collaboratory, we can do a class. So why not? Because doing an English classroom is having fun, making the student collaborate, getting the student engaged. Whatever the place, wherever you are, you can do it. And this is what we mean by context, going beyond the wall. And in this morning, I was discussing with Sister Ndeye Coumba, and she quoted one of our famous trainer here that we all know, Mr. Macham Cham, who used to say, Sister, can you remind it?
Il faut des fois lier l'école à la vie, so educating
Great.
out
Yes.
of the classrooms, going outside the classroom. So
Yeah,
you have, yeah,
going
that's it.
outside the class. So what he means by lier l'école à la vie is getting the student to go beyond the classroom, to practice activities that are outside the classroom, and at the same time getting back now in the classroom in order to be useful to your community. And this is very important for all of us. And the last one maybe will be collaboration. Sister, if you want to add something, if not, we could say that collaboration is making the student work together. But first of all, the teacher should consider the student as not only students, but as people who are they are not empty vessels, if I can say it like this. They have something in their mind. If we give them the opportunity, the possibility to express themselves, we will see that our students, they are wonderful if we give them the possibility to express themselves. Yes, sister?
Okay, change here. And between brackets, we have activity and teaching style. When we talk about change also, we mentioned change in flexibility, but here also we can say change or variety when doing some activities. Variety is the spice of life. So here it is also, we can say variety is the spice of teaching. Activities that can help students re-engage. For example, activities that could put that can put students together. For example, for corners, Sister Khoudia, we have
Yeah.
debates,
Game,
games,
organization.
etc., etc. So these activities are putting everyone in the task. Everyone is doing something, and it puts students together. That's what when we talk about collaboration. When we talk about collaboration, is making students into or in group. This is something very important in teaching because it can help students exchange. Those who are weak may help those who are strong, may be helped by those who are strong. So this is very important when we have variety of activity and variety of learning too. When you come, sometimes you tell to student, today you are going to do this, or what are we going to do today? Maybe they will be interested to give you something that interests them. So you have to work with them, try to help them correct, etc., etc. And having fun too. Sometimes playing, singing is part and parcel of teaching English. Uh,
Yeah. Yes.
yeah, teaching English, maybe sometimes when we use it as fun, it is important. Some students learn by playing. We just come with class, bringing a game and tell them, today we are doing this, we are going to play this game. And this is not only a game, just laughing and after it is over. No, this is a game, but we learn through it. We learn through it.
Yeah.
So we have to implement those kind of activity to help students come back, to help them re-engage, to go beyond the world, as the sister who just said it. So sometimes we can go out to have field trips, to have activities that will be handled on the field. For example, if you have project, you can go in the city or in the in your village and ask
Market,
people.
in the market.
Yeah,
Yep.
having some questionnaire and trying to interact with those who are not at school. It is interesting, and when you gather some information, you can come back and try to translate and then share it with your class. So this is a kind of motivating student, showing them that there is not only the classroom, but we can learn everywhere with people, interact with people, having fun and collaborating. So thank you so much for these tips. If you have some other tips, we are waiting for that in the chat box. You can add them. So among the tips also, we have the use of a great tool. As we are inspired by Gina Rhodes during TESOL 2020 with her engaging the disengaged student. And she mentioned two games or two tools that we can use. But we consider that using those tools, we may have some obstacle or some hindrance, because all our students do not have those materials. They do not have those mobile phone or Android, etc. So we consider those tools as our WhatsApp. Since here many students are using now WhatsApp, I take my case. I have 3 or 4 years that I use WhatsApp with my upper six student, and it is very interesting and important. They did many positive things with me these previous years. So here I am going to give the floor to my sister Hujangom. When she was working with her wonderful students, very inspired by my sister. You have the floor, sis.
So thank you again, sister. In these two videos, we have experienced it. We have used the experience of WhatsApp to motivate our students. In the first video, where the lady is, it is a follow-up. Both are follow-up activities. In the first one, the student, after the lesson dealing with greeting, socializing, expressing oneself, I have asked to the student, I wrote my WhatsApp number on the board and tells them that once at home, I want you to to send me a video in which you will introduce yourself. You will tell me what you like in life, what you dislike, what about your hobbies, and what you want to become in the future. This is why one of my students, she was very shy, and she is even veiled. But as you can see her now, she doesn't look like someone who is shy. So if you can watch the video, the first one, the lady.
Hello, Midis. Hello, everybody. My name is Sophie. I am in lower fifth from LB. I am 18 years old. I'm from Barro. I want to become a firefighter, and my hobby is makeup. I like respect and dignity in a person, and I dislike lies and betrayal. Ciao, bisous, lot of bisous.
Okay, now in the second video, here also it is a follow-up activity. We have dealt with expressing comparison and superlatives. And after, I have decided to create groups of students, and I ask them to go at home and to prepare an advertisement. They are advertising a product. They choose the product that they want. They come in class and may dramatize an advertisement. And here, the two students, it is a group of students. I have just reduced the video. They are advertising one product. So if you can watch at it.
Daddy! I have to tell you about my boyfriend. Actually, he is the accompanies me every day to school. In Burma, knows him. He gives me estate and Eden. I think he is smart. Yes, dear. Daddy, I present to you my
Okay, so thank you, Leah, and dear participant. As you can see it, the student in the video, they have made some mistakes, but I don't mind about the mistake during the videos. I just ask them to express themselves, to have fun. Now, once they get back into the classroom, we watch the videos together and they try to correct the mistakes by themselves. I ask them to watch and take notes. Where there is a mistake, they discover the mistake and they correct themselves. This was done by my student of lower sixth form and upper sixth form. Just showing you that we have to change the way we do things. Having fun is part and parcel of our activities. It is part of what we're doing. English is fun, and we have to make it fun. Okay, so as a conclusion, maybe we will ask you some questions before. We want you to use the chat box or to unmute yourself and tell us what have you learned from this presentation, meaning is there a lesson that you have drawn from this presentation? Second, are you ready to implement it in your classes? If yes, please, why? Thank you.
Okay, as we can see, having the single students is not easy, but knowing what to do to make them come back is another thing. And if you try to handle it, everything will be fine. So thank you so much for participating. Thank you, Leah, for your support. Thank you so much. Sister Khoudia, thank you so much.
Thank you again too, sister. Welcome.